All right. Welcome to this edition of the Ujamaa Hour. I am Michael Tekin Strode. Let me just adjust because, I see you seeing the top of my head instead of my face. I'm Michael Tekin Strode, your host for this edition of the Ujamaa Hour. This is the June edition. We have an exciting guest tonight, Brandon Daurham, who we'll be bringing on in just a moment. But before we do, we'll just get a few particulars out the way, get ourselves introed, get ourselves checked in, and really talk about what we came to talk about this evening. So again, I'm Michael Tekin Strode, of the host of the Ujamaa Hour, also founding coordinator of the Kola Nut Collaborative, Chicago's only time-based service and skills exchange, otherwise known as a time bank, an open platform for collaboration, community organizing, mutual aid, network weaving, and all sorts of other things. So yeah, that's what we're here to do. Talk about the Kola Nut Collaborative, talk about the Black Social and Solidarity Economy. The Ujamaa Hour is your monthly segment, which is an intimate and informal exploration of the Black Social and Solidarity Economy, or rather, an exploration of the Black Social and Solidarity Economy through intimate and informal conversation. We drop into this space every month to talk to folks who are organizing within the Black Social and Solidarity Economy about what they are doing, about the work that they're doing, about the values that drive their work. And we really try to understand, what's the nature of their motivations, right? We try to ascertain, what brought them to do the work that they're doing, and what is the world that they envision on the other side of that work that they are doing. And that's what we plan to do this month. So we before we get there, I just want to brief you on some of the things that are happening recently within the Kola Nut Collaborative. We have had going on as of recent this Offers and Needs Market Facilitator Network. So the Offers and Needs Market Facilitator Network is our small, our modest contribution to the facilitator infrastructure in Chicago, which is just an attempt to train up other people who want to build their facilitation skills, who want to build their skills for group processing, group dynamics, and really, introduce them to some other techniques. So one of those primary techniques that members of this first cohort have gone through is the Offers and Needs Market technique from Post-Growth Institute. Which is really just, a rapid 90 to 120 minute session where people dig into what are the things that they're willing to offer to folks in their community, what are the things that they need from folks in their community, and how do you feel about that, right? And you do some social matchmaking after you get into those sessions. But it's really meant to do the basic fundamental thing that time banks are trying to do, which is trying to get people vulnerable enough to express that, they have some needs. They have some things that they need from folks in their community, and to help them recognize that you're not just a bundle of your needs. You are a bundle of several gifts and several talents, several capacities that you can offer to others, and help people to connect the fact that they have something to offer to the fact that there's someone that has something that they need. So that's something that we took that cohort through. The next stage of this Offers and Needs Market Facilitator Network that is underway right now is that we are issuing the Holding Change title, Adrienne Marie Brown's most recent text, Holding Change, all about emergent strategy facilitation and conflict mediation. We're giving away 100 free copies of that text, right? And the reason that we're giving away 100 free copies of that text is because if we can get 100 people reading about facilitation in Chicago, is it possible that they will be willing to kind of think about how they can connect to others who are doing facilitation in Chicago? And perhaps, we can continue to strengthen this network of folks who are maintaining, supporting groups in the city. So that's underway. If you have not already seen the post on Instagram, make sure you go to our Instagram page at KOLANUTCOLLAB at Kola Nut Collab. There you can find the link to in our bio to the where you can find the Sharing Change survey. So if you're interested in a free copy of Holding Change, you can fill out that survey. Currently, we have a distribution site at the Haji Healing Salon. Thank you very much, Aya. We will be getting in this week at the Honeycomb Network over there in Humboldt. So look out for that. If you're either north or west, north or west, you'll probably be getting your distribution site at Honeycomb Network. But for those folks who are southeast and southwest, Haji Healing Salon is your place to pick up the title. So you can either fill out the survey and go to Haji if you're southeast or southwest, or you can go directly to Haji, and there's a QR code there that's going to be on the near the checkout station where you can go ahead and fill out the survey in store. But we want to get feedback, right? We want to hear from people about what are the things that are driving them to build their facilitation skills. What are the skills that they're looking to build over the next year? And really get those facilitators talking to each other. Ultimately, we'll have a set of meetups, that we might do. We hope to work with young cultural stewards and, perhaps do a few of the reading groups around Holding Change, or a few discussion groups around folks who are reading Holding Change together. And really, again, continue strengthening and building our facilitation skills. Some other things we're looking to do over the course of this year is source some other trainers to come in. So we brought in Post-Growth Institute, and they did that cohort of offers and needs. But we want to, touch upon theater of the oppressed techniques. We want to touch upon basic facilitation techniques. We want to touch upon popular education. So we're looking at some of the different, potential trainers that we can engage that might be able to offer some of those trainings freely to facilitators or potential facilitators, emergent facilitators in Chicago. And so we hope that you'll look out for that as we continue to build out, again, this offers and needs market facilitator network. And what else do we have on the agenda? So we are here in the week of Juneteenth, the week and the celebration of Juneteenth. But don't limit yourself, folks. Emancipation Day celebrations happen all throughout the African diaspora, right? So it's not merely about the Juneteenth that happened here, but it's about the fact that elsewhere where Black people were colonized, emancipation was happening, right? And so as you are thinking about Juneteenth, I know, sometimes when folks get nostalgic, it's about the red soda and it's about that cream cake or whatever. But beyond that, are you thinking about liberation and how it feels in your body, right? How it feels to actually, move on liberation. One of the things that we did at Co-op for Lib yesterday, so Cooperation for Liberation Study and Working Group, we meet bi-weekly on Sundays to discuss the Black cooperative history for the purpose of actually building cooperatives in this current moment. But one of the things that we touched upon on our gathering yesterday, so 3 to 6, you can check in with us, is that our check-in question was, what is a historical event that you would want to reenact differently, right? And why do we ask that check-in question? And this is a facilitation technique. Me and the other member of the facilitation circle in Co-op for Lib were having a conversation about, theater of the oppressed techniques. And we were having a conversation about Confederate War reenactment, but basically we're having a conversation about propaganda. And my co-facilitator was talking about an event in the sort of early 19th century when there was a group of Black soldiers, who were in Leavenworth prison. And effectively, the prison was using theater or using plays as part of their propaganda inside of the prison, right? And why would they use plays as part of their propaganda, right? In the same way that, we use sort of movies and shows and sort of current day media as propaganda. And so when we got to talking about that, that's when we conceived of this check-in question around what is an event that you would like to reenact differently, because as we learn in sort of theater of the oppressed forum theater practice, right? It's not just about, what we are thinking about. It's not just about getting these ideas unpacked inside of our head or understanding them intellectually, but how do they live in our body, right? And so when we did that check-in question, it was a deliberate play to think about what is the liberation propaganda that we are building today, that we are building in this current time? And so I implore you that, as you go about your Juneteenth week this week, don't just, don't just understand the facts intellectually, right, of Galveston in the 1800s, right? But really think about what it means to emancipate ourselves, right, our communities collectively, right, and think about how we are actually reenacting and building propaganda that shows us what emancipation will look like in the future, right? And doing the work in the present that will get us to that future emancipation. So, one of the things that I now bring into every one of these virtual meetings for the extent, of the time in which I will have to continue these virtual meetings, is Father Albert McKnight, right? Now, in every meeting, Father Albert McKnight is sitting right here on the side of my head, just haunting the meeting, right? Giving me an excuse to talk about Black cooperative history, giving me an excuse to talk about Black people doing the work to liberate themselves through the use of cooperatives, right? And how that established a foundation for Southern Consumers Cooperative, how that established a foundation for the Federation of Southern Cooperatives, how that is connected to the food and land struggles that we are engaging in the current moment, in the current context. And so that's a tiny liberation practice that I have, that in meetings that have nothing to do with cooperatives, I can help find an excuse to talk about cooperatives. And whatever you are doing to kind of, foreground or forward a liberation propaganda in your life and your work, you should just be thinking about that more intentionally this week, especially in this week of Juneteenth. You want to think about it all year round, but specifically in this week, get you a practice and get you a piece of propaganda that helps people think about what it means when they are free. So that's my word. Where will the Kola Nut Collaborative be this week? So this week, if you can find Kola Nut Collaborative at the BlackRoots Alliance Just Work gathering, which is going to be happening on Friday from, I think, 12 to 2. So make sure you check on the BlackRoots Alliance Facebook page for information on that event. We will make sure to post the link to that event in the chat shortly. So again, BlackRoots Alliance is having Just Work, Just Work. And so I'll be performing a 4-minute piece there. I'm building a monologue, where I am broadcasting from the future. So we'll see what comes of that. I don't exactly know what's going to happen there. Like, this is my first time playing around with this monologue format. But this is again, I talked about, my attempt to build propaganda for liberation and for emancipation. This is one such piece of propaganda that I will be building, this monologue. So look out for that. Also this week, you can find the Kola Nut Collaborative is going to be at Overton School in Bronzeville. So Overton, I want to say, is 49th, but also you'll find a link to that in the chat shortly. And also, all of these things will be posted on the Kola Nut Collaborative Facebook page. So check there, Kola Nut Collaborative Instagram, at KOLANUT COLLAB is where you can find us on all social media. But on Saturday from 2 to 5 at Overton Elementary, we're going to be there for the Frameworks of Resilience gathering on Borderless Studios. So you can find us there talking about the Offers and Needs Market Facilitator Network, giving out some of those free copies of Holding Change by Adrienne Marie Brown, and handing out the Time Not Money Kola Nut Collaborative zine. So check for that information on our Facebook page, as well as our Instagram. Check for us at Overton Elementary on Saturday. Check for us at the Just Work Gathering with BlackRoots Alliance virtually on Friday. And, wherever you are, build some liberation propaganda, because we need to think about what it feels like to be free. All right. With all of that stated, we are now at the point of bringing on our guest this evening. So our guest this evening is going to be Brandon Daurham. Now, Brandon and I met through, we met originally through Betty Shabazz International Charter School. My daughter was enrolled there. And I knew Brandon as someone who just traveled with a lot of books, just mad books. So I was always very impressed with Brandon's book collection. And certainly the other thing that I want to talk about being impressed with Brandon about is just the level of consistency. So Brandon, community researcher, student of indigenous science and culture, founder of FTP, Free the People, Feed the People Chicago, which has maintained a 10-year presence on 79th near Cottage Grove, serving free meals every Friday. And when I talk about the level of consistency, like this is the sort of subtlety of revolution, right? The subtle revolutionary value, being able to show up and like always being able to show up and helping to build a process and a practice so that people know that you're going to be there. And when they know you're not going to abandon them, they will show up for you. So, I am excited to talk to Brandon about that project, as well as about other things that he has going on. And with that, I want to bring Brandon onto the broadcast. Welcome, Brandon.
Peace, peace. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well, very well. How about yourself?
Everything pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. So, why don't you, I mean, I'm sure that I gave a minimal intro to you. So, if you want to just give a further background or expand on your introduction, do you want to tell people who you are, or how you would foreground and describe yourself?
Yeah, I mean, just a brother trying to figure things out. Trying to figure things out and contribute, add value. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much how I would say it. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Excellent, excellent. So why don't you give people some deeper background? First, we'll start with FTP. So just give people deeper background on what FTP was, is, continues to be, and then give people a bit of an origin story about how you came up to be on the nine, and just continue to be there for as long as you have.
Okay. Let's see. I would say that since maybe like 18, I've been like studying like who we are as a people, our culture, things like that, and I think at a certain point, I felt that I want to bring more like tangible elements to it. I feel research is tangible too in some ways because it's like you transform yourself. But I also felt that we need to like have to like the people like PUP call the buzz on the block. I feel like sometimes we have meetings a lot of times and like the people who actually really need it wasn't really coming to the meetings. So I was like thinking about the way how can we bring what we are and what we know to the everyday person in the neighborhood. Um, Another thing is also with FTP specifically was I used to work at the school around the area, and sometimes the kids would be locked in the school because cats were shooting outside by elementary school. I thought that was like weird, you know what I'm saying? Very weird. So I'm like trying to find a way how I can like kind of like curb some of that energy, and so I like let's trying to think of different ways of doing it. Like I'm not really like a motivational speaker or like that, so I was like, that wouldn't work. So like, what can I do to kind of like calm some of the things down? So I write pretty well. So I started out doing like a little small little bulletin. There's like 10 things we need in the neighborhood, just little stuff like that. So I go outside, I go by the currency exchange, I just sit by the bus stop and pass them out. So I had a little decent little feedback. So after a while, I saw a brother from Atlanta doing like feed the people in Atlanta. I'm like, that's dope. Matter of fact, I put on YouTube like I'm starting this in Chicago. And I say a few weeks later, me and my homie Tamika, my friend Mercedes, and my grandmother, we made some food with a little card table and set up outside. And we've been doing that for almost 10 years now. So that's pretty much some of the main thoughts behind it. Mm.
And what would you say are some of the things that you I mean, I know that you do very informal Facebook lectures, occasionally, right? So you're often dropping like jewels and dropping just elements of like, hey, I mean, these are things we need to do, these are things we need to transform. What are some of the most important learnings that you've drawn up from being out there 10 years and being available to that in that space and being available to that work?
Um, the media, like I feel like the media is very, very strong. What's something we already know, but like it has like a very like, oh, that's 79 in Cottage Grove. It's wild over there. You know what I'm saying? People even from the quote unquote hood feel like they scared of that over there. But being over there, like the people is cool, good vibe, good energy, and they trying to make things work. So I feel like a lot of times, I learned like the beauty of our people a whole lot more. The beauty of our people, a whole lot more. The camaraderie people have. I've learned that a whole lot being out there. What else can I say? How the neighborhood changed a whole lot. So my first idea was like to go do 79th and Cottage Grove and then move to 71st and Jeffrey. Then move to 63rd and Rose. Then like so that was my goal. So I was gonna do it for like 6 months, get the neighborhood behind me, and have them take it over, and I'll get up out of there because it was the next spot. But the neighborhood changed a lot. Like every 9 months, 12 months is a whole new neighborhood. So I noticed that too. I ain't really peeped that beforehand. It's a lot of things, bro. Like as far as like the need for us like to be more pragmatic in the community, like to be more pragmatic, and just really like this a lot. It's a lot. I mean, being consistent, being disciplined, knowing your feelings don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like get things done. Like get it done, regardless how you feel. Like get things done. And how I also feel like to transform the community is not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work, but not that difficult though. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like before I felt like it was a lot to do, but now like just doing a small little thing like that can create a nice little shift in the community. You know, I noticed that as well. The need for grief counseling, majorly in the communities. You know what I'm saying? A lot of grief, a lot of pain. You know, as far as the violence go, like I said, a lot of violence can be seized by having people present in the community, specifically men. Like I personally like intercepted like violence several times out there, guns and all. I'm saying like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact they see me, they know like, oh, that's dude with the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that small little leverage allowed me, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, talk somebody down off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? So this thing, like a lot of things, bro. There's a lot of things like that. You know.
And what so I know that it's not necessarily been just you out there. You talked about some early collaborators, but I know that there are like several hands that have like touched the process and stayed
Right.
and left, and so just talk about like how has collaboration shown up, and what have you learned about the ability for people to collaborate on the project, or help you to sustain the thing, or help you to take a day off if you decide, what I mean, as maybe you have done.
Right. The collaboration, like I said, I started with my grandmama, and my friend Tamika, and my friend Mercedes, and like I said, it's always been like people, like I said, people just show up. People show up for something that's real. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said before, like I want to like be in different spaces doing this type of work, but I wasn't able to do it. But I seen like other people, and they picked up the momentum. Like I picked up from somebody else myself, like the brother from Atlanta and some brothers from Chicago, Sats Preacher, them Temple of Mercy Association. Like they gave me some ideas too. So I feel like a lot of time, like your impact is different. It looks different. You know, like the Most High, like you might have a plan, Most High got a plan for you. So like I think just by sitting there doing the work, I feel like the collaboration is not only people who come out there with me, but people who do their own works in their own different spaces. That's very powerful too. But definitely, I mean, people been coming. I had probably hundreds of people that came through, and you know what I'm saying, just came out there to serve, say a good word to the people, drop off some ravioli. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely it's brought a lot of just people together, different organizations, individuals. It was like I said, it's definitely been a powerful thing with different people coming through. And just adding on, like I said, just taking up space. Taking up space in the hood. Like, got the little square man, the weed man, the so-called winos, and then they got us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and taking up space. Like, we showing the youth, like, and adults, like, hey, you know, it's black men and black women who actually care about the community. So I feel like that's always been a powerful thing for me and for us.
Absolutely. And you talked earlier about like being connected to youth, through the school. So working in the school,
Right.
what's the sort of what's the impact that you've seen? I mean, being out there 10 years, you see a lot of shorties grow up, right? What's sort of been the impact of just being visible over the course of 10 years, and just maybe building relationships with, young folk that, then, I mean, that you kind of see over the course of 10 years.
Right. Again, the neighborhood shifts a whole lot. But I mean, one example, like, it was a guy came over there. he ran over there, you know what I'm saying, looking over the shoulder, looking back and forth, looking back and forth. Like, you good, bro? Like, yeah, I just want to tell you, Mo, you know what I'm saying? This is a real S you doing right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to let you know that, like, I think I'm robbing somebody today. You know what I'm saying? But like, seeing you trying to do this positive stuff, I'm gonna be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And he ran back to the other side. You know, like Cottage Grove side, other side, they into it. So like stuff like that. I seen one bro when I first started. He got locked up, came back home 3 years later, and saw me like, man, you know what I'm saying? He's just like stuck, like looked at me like, and just shook his head, and, you know, shook my hand, you know what I'm saying, and pimped off. He got locked up again. He got locked up again. Did a couple years, came back like, bro, you still, you know what I'm saying? You still doing, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, things like that happen a lot. Some youth that I seen, like I worked at high school for a little while. Some youth, they came out there, served some food, you know what I'm saying? Saw some of my old classmates, things like that. So it's not exactly what I want. You know, I got a lot of crazy expectations, you know what I'm saying? But it's still like it's still been decent, you know what I'm saying? Every little bit counts. So
Yeah. And you talked about being desiring to share knowledge when you originally kind of went out there. You wanted to kind of have those conversations on the block. Have you been able to? Do you feel like you've been able to do that sort of communication? I know sometimes I've been out there and you've had some literature on the table. Do you feel like you've been able to be able to exchange or to kind of communicate the idea?
Not as much as I want to. Like I said, I'm not necessarily the best communicator. You know what I'm saying? Like verbally. So I feel like I'll be more like a listening ear. Like our third year, I started a grief counseling class. I got like maybe like 7 folks together. We took a grief counseling class. We did grief counseling, domestic violence, and sexual assault. So the goal was to take these 7, and we was gonna go out there and deploy ourselves. You know what I'm saying? On the block, and you know what I'm saying? Do that. It didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? They had another cohort, same thing, had grief counseling and stuff like that to do that type of work, but never did materialize though. I mean, I of course I was out there doing it, you know what I'm saying, being a listening ear, but it wasn't to the point, of course, that I intended though. But more so anything else, I do a lot of listening. You know what I'm saying? Anything, I do a lot of listening to the people. Cause they tell you their life story all the time. Their event, you know what I'm saying, about such and such happened with they, you know what I'm saying, they lost a loved one, thing like that, or they homeless. They've been on the street for the past 9 months. So more so than just talking to them, I do a lot of listening. You know what I'm saying, to be a listener to them and get off their chest a little bit. So which I think is just as valuable though. You know what I'm saying? It's just as valuable as to hear them stories. You know, cause like people be on the edge, bro. Like they be on the edge. Folks be on the edge. So just to have somebody like to sit down and give you 10 minutes, that means something to them. You know, it can help them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not go over the edge. So
Yeah. Now I had never known about the sort of grief counseling cohort. That speaks to a real interesting sort of I mean, I don't know if that's just your approach to sort of community needs assessment, right? You're serving food, you're there, you're being an ear. You seem to be sizing up needs in the community. Just kind of just by your presence there. They're sort of I mean, do you have any sort of thoughts about like just doing that, or just you just like, I saw something that needed to happen and I just brought a space open for it to happen?
yeah. I think I just got a therapeutic vibe. Period. Like I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? I got a big heart. You know what I'm saying? Can't help it. What's up? You know what I'm saying? So I think things like that. I feel like they're a huge need, like therapy, like trauma, dealing with trauma type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like just like, and being like say like, like people who down their luck, we don't even say what's up to them. Like so, might have like a little cup, like so you get some change. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't have it. But you might say like, man, good. You know what I'm saying? Sit like, how you doing though? You know what I'm saying? Give them a word or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, how was your day today? You know what I'm saying? It's small stuff, but just say what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like that, just like the human connection. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was thinking last week I was thinking like in America, like we are very wasteful. You know, we waste water, we waste food, we waste napkins. You know what I'm saying? But also like we waste people. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So I feel like I'm a pretty great guy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like but I feel like we are all great though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Probably great. You know what I'm saying? Greater than me, but I feel like I didn't have as many as much damage. You know what I'm saying? Much attack than somebody else had. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with a mama and a father, two fathers. You know what I'm saying? So like you hear somebody's story like, damn, like the fact you still can smile, bro, that's a miracle. You know what I'm saying? That's God shining through 100%. Like, bro, I'd be a straight maniac. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
but I feel like just learning like man like you talk about a lot of time like this different type of economy. I feel like people is the economy. People is the so called money. You know what I'm saying? So like, but again, like I feel like we don't really see them as like being valuable because you know what I'm saying they look a little raggedy. You know what I'm saying? Or they you know what I'm saying they off the drugs something like that. Like bro, like, this is where the power comes from the people. So I think just like having the sense of like bro like these is real human beings, bro. Like this quote unquote God's child, just like you is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Garvey right there. That's Harriet Tubman, that's Ella Baker right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a diamond. You know what I'm saying? Like that boy, it look a little muddy right now. You know what I'm saying? But like some cultivation, bro, will be on point. You know what I'm saying? He what we need in the community. So I feel like a lot of time, like so, like I said, my goal has always been like for me to come in, do what I can do, and move around. 'Cause I feel like the community itself should to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like really more like more training and stuff like that. So I feel like yeah, like the trauma stuff, the grief stuff, um, economics, of course, this thing like that, like this family. You know what I'm saying? How to tighten up family. So I used to do peace circles back in the day a lot too. So my goal was also to have like peace circles, like have a feed the people program that kind of galvanize the people, and then had like peace circles. You know what I'm saying in these neighborhoods about just different things. You know, but again, you know, it didn't materialize yet. But that was always been the goal though. To just like offer like whatever we need in the community, like and be self sufficient for ourselves. So always been the goal. I'm
Absolutely.
retired now, but that was the goal at the time. You know.
Right, right. No, no. I
Yeah.
mean, and there's certainly a lot to learn, about that position, and I recognize, I mean, how projects wind up and wind down, by necessity. They're like no
Mhm.
one else. But it's there's a lot to learn and to extract from that. I mean, for the spaces now, right? I mean, mutual aid became a massive thing last year. Folks were like, yeah, we need to meet this food need, but they are also now realizing like, oh, but there are so many other needs that like need to be
Yeah.
addressed, and that I mean, you can't just give them the bread, right? You know what I mean? You just gotta
Right.
like you gotta recognize there's other stuff happening in the community.
Right.
So
And for me, like I said, no, go ahead. I know
no,
you
no,
saying something.
absolutely no. I'm pitching to you.
So for me, like I said, it was never about food. That's just like the honey. My grandma was a phenomenal cook. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I started did food. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't about food at all. It's about really specifically it's about men being on the block and showing like man like counting the narrative like man the niggas ain't s. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the whole thought and like just being present. Like you know what I'm saying? Like because for me like it's embarrassing like the little girls getting shot. You shooting around the school, cuz like that's you know what I'm saying? That's weird to me. Like very extremely weird. Like if you got a new tune with a guy, that's cool. Y'all into it. Y'all can't work it out. Hey, it's whatever. But you shooting around kids, bro. So like stuff like that, I feel like it shouldn't go on. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I just want to have men on the block just have certain eyes, like both because some people they see a group of men like they might think twice about doing that. You know what I'm saying? So like or just having witnesses outside might think twice about doing it. So just thing like that. But like I said the food is really a cloak. That's it. It's the cloak and it tastes good. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like most people who eat out there, I say 30% might be really in need. Everybody else is coming. That's like a family barbecue. We have the weekly family barbecue. You know what I'm saying? People come up, just you know what I'm saying, chop it up, break bread. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Just really vibe with the community. That's the main goal. Cause I feel like if everybody know everybody in the neighborhood, it's less likely to do wild things. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Less likely. But we all strangers. We all like so-called opposites. Just people we don't know each other. It's gonna be a lot harder, like kind of have control or harmony in the community. You know, so that's the main thing is getting people back outside. So like, we from the South, like like how the South was, you just on the porch waving, saying hi to people. You know what I'm saying? That's like part of the culture. Now everybody kind of scared of each other now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not really our culture. You know, we can't thrive that way. So
Absolutely.
that's one of the main goals too, like just being present, creating a presence outside.
So I know that you have been transitioning a lot lately to discussing generational wealth. So what does that phrase mean to you? In the context of the I mean maybe drawing on the work that you've done. As a community researcher. As a reader, as an organizer. Like, what does generational wealth mean for you in that context?
Yeah, so I guess me like doing FTP, working in alternative high school, working in prisons, working in juvenile homes, I realized that one of the main issues is like poverty, like I'm saying like not having bread. Like the fact I was able to read so much because I got a little cushion between me and my bills. You see what I'm saying? Without that cushion, I'd be in the rat race like everybody else. You don't have time to really like tap into yourself, tap into your powers, tap into, you know what I'm saying, this is universal wisdom. So and then my father was a big money man. You know, so he got literally had $100 bill tapped on his arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was real big about money. And when he passed a couple years ago, like man, like I feel like now, like okay, I got to step my game up as far as like finances. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, I was like anti-money. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like money wasn't about, it's about your soul, your spirit, your wisdom, thing like that, which it is. But I feel like I start thinking more like money as being a tool to like act like I feel like money amplify who you are. So if you're a kind-hearted person, you're a giving person. When you got money, you're gonna be able to serve more. If you're a greedy, grimy person, you're gonna be more greedy and more grimy when you got money. So I start switching how I look at money and just seeing it more as a tool. And I feel like like I said, like most of my kids, like the kids I had in my school who got locked up, most of them was for poverty crimes. You see what I'm saying? They was like trying to get money, stick up kids or selling drugs, something like that, or having a pistol on them because they're in certain environments. Like it's all poverty crimes. So I feel like the only purpose of us being in America, I think, especially in the city part, is to really get money. You know what I'm saying? And really allocate those funds. Like the morals are bad here, the weather's bad here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things in the society. Like wow, the only good thing about society, like we got running water and access to capital. So let's let use take that capital. Those of us who have a more like positive people mind state, and we get the finance. I know me when I started, the more money I got, the more stuff I did in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on the bus for 12 years. I'm like I don't need a car. My money is going to the people. Like you know what I'm saying? So I got a car now, but say for a long time, like it didn't mean nothing to me. So I feel like if we get one of us get that, it'll be I think we can use it as a tool in the meantime. You know, as far as what you said about generational wealth, it's multifaceted. It's like to me, it's a sense of continuum. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that we came from something. You know what I'm saying? We have to take pride in what we came from. You know what I'm saying? In a real way. Like we come from, you know what I'm saying, like just having a sense of like it's bigger than Brandon Daurham, it's bigger than me. You see what I'm saying? Like the things I have came from my ancestors, came from the collective struggle of my people. So at the same time, me myself, I gotta like put things in position for the next generation to push us more forward and not being so singular. I think now, like back in the day, you might have an auntie. She had worked at the white woman house and cleaning the floors to save them nickels to send her daughter to Shaw University. You see what I'm saying? But now it's like we lost that type of like sacrifice for that generation. You know what I'm saying? So sacrifice can be like say it could be actual tangible quote unquote money, but also could be like values, character. You know what I'm saying? Like stories. That's wealth. Photo albums. You know what I'm saying? Like that's wealth to me. You know what I'm saying? Records, music. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing that we rich, bro. Like we very very rich and like in spirit, rich in morals, rich in values, and also become rich. You know what I'm saying? And in whatever financial we have. You know. So I think about that a whole lot more. You know, just it's like generational wealth on all levels. Not excluding money, but really all levels. I feel like that's the foundation. It's like the spirit, the soul, the culture, the wisdom, you know what I'm saying, the stories type of thing. That's the real wealth that leads you to make you want to get the other type of wealth. You know what I'm saying? So the financial type of thing. So that's how I look at it.
Mm. So I'm hearing some intriguing, values in terms of I mean that so this broadcast, we often talk about like what are the values in the economy that people are moving towards. I mean, are the equitable values, or the values of like solidarity or justice, or participation. So I'm wondering if there are values that maybe you haven't lifted up, in the economy that you imagine. Like if you just sat back and you imagined what the future was, and I mean this is a good moment to do it, right? Because we're in this space of Juneteenth week, right? If you're imagining the future economy for Black people, right? I mean, in Black communities, what is it that Brandon Daurham is imagining?
The future economy, I would think, I would say, for me, it's really like just being able to work together. I feel like ultimately, again, I said, I think the people are the wealth. That's the true wealth, the human beings. You know what I'm saying? Human beings and the culture is the wealth. So, and just us creating what we got to create. So currently, we live in this situation. But I feel like whatever we create, I think we just got to be on top. You know what I'm saying? We got to like and really like say like share. So even if even if it remains money, it remains these dead presidents. As long as we sharing it, I feel like we'll be able to advance. So whatever type of form we're in, as long as we're valuing ourselves as like the true value, we value our culture as a true value, and the land thing like that. I feel like things will be smooth. For like I said, for a long time I was like anti money for a long time, and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, the older you get, the more responsibility you got for like less. I think like I'm very like pragmatic. Like while we here in this space, like let's maximize what we at in this space. And then I think we have the luxury to actually like to do more things like thinking outside of this box that we in. You know. So like I said, ultimately like it's about us just like people is a true value. The culture is a true value in land. You know, and then from there we build from there. You know. And our time too. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing like that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I know you're a well read brother. You know, do you have recommendations that you just want to put forward for folks? You know, of things that you're reading that are kind of informing your thinking at this moment.
Yeah, past 3 years I've been reading just finance and family books. Like, 'cause I also think too, like for me, like where I'm at now, like really like finance and family. 'Cause I feel like that's the cornerstone. Cause like I always say, like we may have the desire and the heart to change the world. We may have the budget to maybe the budget doesn't really change ourselves. Maybe you know what I'm saying. And like so, I feel like just building from where we at, like cash bucket where you are type Booker T type of thing. Like I feel like your circle of influence. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like me growing up, seeing my mom and my father married, you know what I'm saying, like I feel like that should be more, you know what I'm saying, more of an emphasis. I feel like that's something that we missing on right now. I think like a lot of single men, single women. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about building cooperatives and things like that. When building a community, like let's start. That's the foundation of the family. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we had an extended family, but like it's still like man and woman getting together and building. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying to be a lot of friction and like that's like on the back burner. So lately, like I've been like, reading a lot of books about like marriage, communication, how to resolve conflict. You know what I'm saying, and really how to get money. You know, how to build, like I said, how to build generational wealth. So I just got a license a little while ago to sell life insurance. So I'm like stuff like that. Like it's simple, life insurance. You know what I'm saying? You can still do what we doing. Like I know this is inexpensive. I think it's like a lot of money to get life insurance. I'm like, bro, this is cheap. That's how much you get 500,000 for this much. Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So this thing like that, like I've been reading, trying to think in Pacifics. This book is cool. It's called it's by Garrett Gunnison. It's a white boy, Garrett Gunnison, called what's over there somewhere. But look up Garrett Gunnison. But what's the name of the book? I think it's called What Will the Rockefellers Do? Something like that. What would the Rockefellers do? Something like that. But talk about how they leverage life insurance to really like really build wealth, long term wealth for 5 generations, things like that. That was a good book. I reread Complementarity by Mwalimu Baruti. It's talking about like African love, African marriage, things like that. That stuck out to me as of late. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, those books some stuck out to me recently that I read. Yeah.
All right, all right. In the in your last sort of comment, communication and conflict came up. So you in conflict actually has come up a couple of times. You talked about doing peace circles and doing conflict resolution. You talked about the friction, being a challenge to family building. So I'm really interested in sort of what your learnings and what your lessons are about conflict, based upon both your work and, maybe based upon sort of your personal life. I mean, conflict is a big subject, and it certainly does break apart and deteriorate a lot of community work. So, if you want to share lessons and background on conflict, that might help other folks.
Yeah, I guess too. It's a matter of like knowing it's bigger than you. see what I'm saying? Like that's a huge piece. I think again, America pushes like me, pleasure, 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 pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a huge piece. Like just getting beyond like I guess like knowing what the goal is. The goal is like, man, I know like working together we can do more. Like it's an adage that we all know, but like actually like living that out, like knowing like okay, like it's bigger than me. So if I can work this out with dude, like also too like I guess for me it's like if we know we both can fight, ain't no point in fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like we know like if it came down to it, like it's a good chance I can whoop him, he might be with me. You know what I'm saying? Like so like I ain't gotta prove that I'm tough. You know what I'm saying? Like we grown. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna prove we tough. And just like I said, like empathy and like, do you really want to get the work done? Cause a lot of times, like if you want to get the work done, like you gonna get it done. One good book you asked for books was small book, only like 30 pages, but it's like it's called Lubrication for Liberation. Lubrication for Liberation. It's a small little pamphlet. I forgot by your name who wrote the book, but just like learning them process, like learning them process, and like having empathy. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself in their shoes, like that's a huge thing, you know. And just yeah, I mean, just practicing the work that we learn. Like that's something I think we like. I'm a big book reader, so I'm like, there's books about that. I'm saying like classes and courses. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very very simple, like communication and how to resolve conflict. You know, and I mean, some people are naturally like they like beef. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of it too. I feel like my speed is like naturally like I'm more like my life path is 6. I'm more like about harmony, like seeing both sides. Like I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Kind of bringing things together, but that may be like a natural gift, I guess. But I think it can be cultivated, like just having empathy, um, not sweating the small stuff, keeping the big picture the big picture. You know, um, yeah, bro. And just find the right tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Find the right tribe. You know, because sometimes I think people to argue just to avoid doing the work. They're filibuster. Like, you know, the old joke they say, like, the boyfriend breaking with his girlfriend around Valentine's Day or Christmas, you know what I'm saying? He would buy her no gift. So, yeah, create an argument, though, to not give her a gift. I said sometimes we create arguments to avoid doing the work, you know, because the work is simple. You know what I'm saying? One thing, like I said, I started doing the food program. I feel like, okay, like, I know we got all these different ideologies and these different religions and different groups and different platforms. Like, I don't think we can really argue about serving some food, giving somebody a glass of water. You know what I'm saying? But some people did. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, well, I'm trying to find the most common denominator.
I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, it is. Well, what brand? You know what I'm saying? Like, some guys just like to argue, like to debate. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, like, and I guess finding ways to get rid of your aggression too. Like, find ways to get rid of your aggression, whether it be through exercise, whether it be through yoga, whether it be through martial arts, whether it be through being with your mate intimately. You know what I'm saying? Like, just finding other ways to let go of some of that aggression, some of that pent up aggression, or like directing aggression. Aggression ain't bad. Just direct it toward that which is, you know what I'm saying, gonna serve you. You know, yeah. So it's definitely wild. But I would say, like I said, just finding your tribe though, the people who gonna resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? Who you resonate with, and vice versa. Because there'll definitely be a lot of, like you said, like arguing to be arguing, bro. For no, I don't know. I don't be getting it. You know.
Right. So we here.
Yeah, real quick. I will say like peace circle definitely helped me too, like being more empathetic though.
Right.
Peace circles and like just listening. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely and knowing like you also knowing you ain't gotta be right and being right don't even mean that much. You know what I'm saying? Like can we get a lot like it's an old saying you want to be right or you want to be married type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So like you want to actually be productive and work together or you want to be right. You know what I'm saying? Be right by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the thing too. Like just there's certain things like this personal cultivation. I think is very very needed. Like this time to reflect and journal. You know what I'm saying? Being a whole human being. Like that's a huge piece. That helped me out a lot. You know.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I definitely, credit peace circles with, me just being me being grounded in facilitation as like a group process, because like just sitting on circle and and at one time kind of leading a circle and coming to think about how that felt. Yeah, it certainly cultivated my empathy, cultivated my listening in some deeper ways. Um, So we're here in this week of Juneteenth. I mean, lots of folks are engaging in Juneteenth rituals. Perhaps you can just kind of, feel free to offer feedback on what you think of Juneteenth rituals. But more importantly than that, do you have a Juneteenth reflection? Are there? I know, as I said, I know you do those Facebook writings, right? Or just other writings. But do you have a reflection that you're offering folks this week as we are grounded in Juneteenth? And and that you might like folks to be thinking about as this event circles around this year.
Yeah, Juneteenth. I never was like I never really participated, I guess, in Juneteenth like that to
Mm-hmm.
really be able to like really speak on it. I know some of the history of it, but I never really engaged in it. But I think anytime we can get together, like I heard you were saying before I came on about just like imagining, you know what I'm saying, like and expanding what liberation really look like, what that means for you, what that means for the community, thing like that. So I think that's always good. And just like I said, just really imagining more what that look like. You know what I'm saying? Then like again, like finding practical ways to engage in that. But I feel like anytime, like I said, we want to come together, I feel like that's a great thing, you know. But again, it just can't be just like what they call that, more like a feel good moment. You know what I'm saying? It got, even though feeling good is a great thing to do, to feel good. You know what I'm saying? Feel good, but like what can we, like let's feel good about the work we got to really do to really unravel the liberation thing we're going through. Because I don't really think we that liberated. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't already see it like that. Look outside, like it don't look liberated to me. So like I guess like just pushing ourselves to really like just be more pragmatic. You know what I'm saying? And figure out what ways we can just really push ourselves forward. Like chewable goals, what they call them, smart goals. You know what I'm saying? Real smart, chewable goals, specific, measured, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Have those goals. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Very important. Hmm.
So we're coming to close on the interview segment, but are there things that you wanna leave folks with? Are there ways that you want to kind of open up for folks to reach out to you or touch base with you, or just anything that you kind of want to offer in closing for folks.
Um, I would say too. What I'm looking forward to now and putting the energy out to more, like having more men circles, and also like men, like I said on the relationship piece, like men who've been married, and like creating spaces for like younger men who are single. You know what I'm saying? Just like really like learn more about that dynamic. As far as like just like how to be men. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this time, I know things have been challenged as far as what gender means and what gender is, what men are not. You know what I'm saying? But having spaces like where men can come together and really ground themselves and just like perfect ourselves, refine ourselves. Still shopping still. And that's one thing I really want to push for. And also anybody who has a listening ear, you know what I'm saying, have a therapy type of vibe, if they want to come to FTP any Friday, and just like be present for the community, you know what I'm saying, be a listening ear, support some of the people outside over there, you know what I'm saying, the neighborhood there. That'd be great, you know. And also too, even if it's not with me, if you don't already have some, look into life insurance. You know what I'm saying? Specifically permanent life insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like just like see what's to it. It's a group on YouTube called Wealth Nation. It's a black couple. They talk about how to use whole life insurance. It's like a your own banking system. You know what I'm saying? Generational wealth, thing like that. So like I say, it ain't got to be with me. I'm saying, but really consider like getting some permanent life insurance for yourself and for your family.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you dropping in and just giving us, a piece of the history of FTP, giving us some of your background, giving us some of the learnings that you've engaged in from organizing it. Yeah, and looking forward to the work that continues, and and ways that I can support, and that we can work together moving forward. So,
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
all right, appreciate you, and have a good evening, brother.
Likewise, bro. Peace.
All right. All right, folks. just want to drop into the schedule for the rest of the year. This has been the June edition of the Ujamaa Hour. We are going to have lots more coming up, come July, come August. So in July, we're going to have Taryn Randall, Getting Grown Collective. I'm looking forward to talking to Taryn. Siobhan Evans, Play Cousins Collective in August. Hafida Akwe, People's Hub in September. October, Lee Jordan, Black Yield Institute. November, Lex Barlow, Central Brooklyn Food Co-op. And then in December, mystery guest, I don't know. It might be Haji. I'm not sure. We'll see if I can kind of get this invitation over to Aya. But yeah, there's lots of things coming for the rest of our conversations this year on the Ujamaa Hour. This is your exploration of the Black social and solidarity economy through intimate, informal conversation. Really exploring, some of the values that underlie some of the organizing that is happening in local context around the U.S. and someday around the world. We'll see how far this podcast travels. But really appreciated you all checking into the Ujamaa Hour this evening. Hope that it was valuable. Hope that you got something that you can hold on to. Remember to look for the Kola Nut Collaborative at Frameworks of Resilience on Saturday, 2 to 5. So at Overton Elementary, check that out. And then on Friday at Just Work with BlackRoots Alliance from roughly 12 to 2. So be sure to check into that. Give me a moment, and I will make sure that you have those things in the chat so that you can plug into them. There we go. Just Work. Boom. Just Work is there in the chat. And let's see. Frameworks of Resilience. Is it here? It is not here. So you will have to wait for Frameworks of Resilience to show up on the Facebook page. But you've got there in the chat Just Work. So you'll be able to plug into that. And yeah. Other than that, folks, I will see you all at the end of the week. And yeah, I hope that you are living liberation and showing it through your body, through your practice, through your process. And yeah, I'll be back in another month. So be sure to check with us next month as we dig into another episode of the Ujamaa Hour, your exploration of the Black social and solidarity economy through intimate, informal conversation. Until then, peace.